हेलो बच्चों, कैसे हैं आप सभी। आई विल नॉट forget to remind you, as I always do not forget to look at your main syllabus, do not forget to solve your PYQs, do not forget to link whatever you read in the newspaper with your main syllabus and previous year question paper, so that you can understand the psyche of the examination you have targeted to clear, and that is how you can reduce your efforts, you can understand the psyche of examination, and you can fare better than others in the prelims and as well as mains. Okay, so with this little reminder, without fail, let's take up the daily newspaper analysis of the Hindu every day, which we take every day, and we use daily edition of the Hindu newspaper. So the first article, let's take the first article, and that is about elections, and we have some data. I want you to mark some of the facts and information that has been given about the 18th Lok Sabha elections, and when the 17th Lok Sabha is ending, and in how many phases these Lok Sabha general elections are taken. So look at this data. That is, the first phase of the Lok Sabha election is to begin on which date? April 19th, and there are dates given: April 27th, 26th, May 7th, May 13th, May 20th, May 25th, and June 1st. So the 18th Lok Sabha elections will be held in 7 phases. Okay, and these are the phases. In the first phase, the seats on which the election will be held in different states has been mentioned here. Just look at this information and then further move on to this page, which is continuation of the same article, and it is on the page number 11. The nomination on process for the first phase of the Lok Sabha elections begins. So read this paragraph, which is important facts and mention. Polling will be held in Arunachal Pradesh and these states, and you don't need to remember though all the seats which are being conducted for the election in the respective states, but mark down the state which you belong to in case you're going to appear for any upcoming prelims in your state pieces. This information might be useful, that in first phase of the elections how many states were contested for the 18th Lok Sabha in that particular state. So these are the factual information. The general information important for general studies will be this one. The elections for the 18th Lok Sabha will be held in 7 phases. How many phases? 7 phases, beginning April 19, followed by subsequent phase on these dates. The term of the 17th Lok Sabha ends on 16th June. The elections will be held over 45 days, 44 days. How many days? 44 days. And this information, there is also information that 18th Lok Sabha is the second longest general election that is to be held. The first was very first general elections which was held in the country. So this is the second longest election. The first, as I told it, and the longest is the first Lok Sabha election, as I said, that spanned 5 months from September 1951 to February 1942. So this is the information that I wanted you to look at. With this, let's look at the 2 questions, practice questions that I have formed for you and is important for you. Look at the question and try to find out the answer. Which of the following statements regarding Lok Sabha elections in India is true? The Lok Sabha elections are held every 4 years. No, it is conducted every 5 years. The Prime Minister of India is directly elected by citizens in the Lok Sabha elections. No, Prime Minister is not directly elected. The ministers, the MPs are directly elected, and Prime Minister is nominated from the winning party, and he is appointed. Okay, he is appointed as Prime Minister, so he is not elected directly. So second statement, this one is wrong, this one is wrong. The total number of seats in the Lok Sabha is fixed at 550. No, we all know this spans to 573, 572. Okay, so this is also wrong. The representation of states in Lok Sabha is based on population, with the each state having a minimum of 1 seat. This is correct. Okay, look at second question. Look at the second question. And what is the minimum age requirement? This is very basic question, very much factual, but we do mistakes most of the time at the easiest part only, at the most basic part only. And this is about the minimum age requirement for citizens of India to contest in Lok Sabha elections. So what is the minimum age? That is 25 years. And what is the age of voting? That is 18 years. Okay, so 18 years is the age of voting. For Lok Sabha elections, one has to be 25 years old if he or she wants to get the wants to contest. Okay, and then with this practice of the question, let's go to the second article, and that is related to your syllabus, science and tech development and their effect every day. GS paper 3 also, this is related to GS paper 3, science and tech development, their effect on everyday life, and also GS paper 4, ethics. Okay, this is about the IVF which was availed by the parents of Sidhu Moosewala and the children they are having. Okay, this information is about the IVF the parents availed. This is nothing political, nothing some information which is masala and all, but this is important for UPSC also, because back in 2023 there were some petitioners who approached the courts and they questions IVF Act, Assisted Reproductive Technology Act 2020. It was in 2021. Yes, so it was Assisted Reproductive Technology Act 2021. They challenged the maximum age which has been set, based on which the people or the couples can avail assisted reproductive technology to bear children. Okay, so this is important for you for exam perspective and in this, read this information. So recently the parents of the Sidhu Moosewala who died previous years, they have the baby and the news is circulating, and this is how this information becomes important for us as well for exam perspective, not because it is about Sidhu Moosewala or their parents, it's because it is related to your GS paper 3 about in vitro fertilization, about Assisted Reproductive Technology Act 2021 also. So let's read some of the information. So under section 21 subclause G, Clause G, subclause 1 of the Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Act 2021, the age limit prescribed for a woman going under ART service is between 21 to 50 years. So women who are the, what is the age between which a woman can go for assisted reproductive technology? That is 21 to 50 years. Okay, and this has been questioned. The mother of the mother of the Sidhu Moosewala is 58 years old. So she is beyond this age. That is why the question is raised. And then look at this line. While the center birth sparks debate, while the center has sought a report on the assisted pregnancy, the birth also has sparked a debate on whether an age limit should be implemented in such cases, as people are living longer. Because people are living longer, the age has increased for which the people are living and have better medical facilities. Because we are having better medical facilities, people are living longer, so why not to increase the age bracket in which people can opt for assisted reproductive technology, which is mentioned in ART 2021 Act. Okay, and then because medical facilities has been improvised and this is ensuring better quality of life, these are the reasons because of which Assisted Reproductive Technology Act 2021 provisions has been questioned. Okay, so next line is aging brings along various elements. Now the question about ART and the age limit, why the age limit has been prescribed in the ART Act. Aging brings along various elements. Just जैसे एज बढ़ती जाती है, there is this अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि जैसे से एज बढ़ती है वैसे वेरियस डिसीजेस एलिमेंट्स बढ़ जाते हैं, मेंटल हेल्थ भी डिक्लाइन होता है. तो इन केस द पेरेंट्स हु आर ऑफ ग्रेटर एज, अगर वो they go for child birth, so in case they pass away, then who will take care of the child? These are the question which has been raised. And then some of the debate is both medical and ethical. So debate about the age bracket is both medical as well as ethical. Why ethical? That we will also see. Next line, she said, while the age limit is reasonable, there are some exceptions, as it is believed that every woman has a reproductive right to become a mother. And then in case a woman wishes to avail ART, read the last paragraph. In case a woman wishes to avail of ART services beyond this age, she must have a detailed medical and physical examination. So this is a way forward of the solution. Like if a woman is beyond the age of 21 to 50 years, if she wants to become a mother, then what are the conditions she should fulfill, and these are the way forward. Like she must have a detailed medical and physical examination including verification of good mental health. The couple must have insurance for the unborn child. Third, so first is she must have a detailed medical examination, physical as well medical, verification of good mental health. Second, third is the couple must have insurance for unborn child. Third, and also clear-cut guidelines as who will be the legal guardian of the child in case they die and are thus unable to take care of the child. So there are 4 way forward that you can mention about, like, you know, why the age bracket should be removed and why every woman has the right to be a mother if in case they want to be mother beyond the age of 50 years. Okay, that has been prescribed in ART Act 2023. Let's look at some more dimensions with some extra further point that I have given you to be read. So in 2023 in Kerala High Court, some of the petitioners reached the court and they said that the age bracket is not right and that should be removed. Then what Kerala High Court said? Kerala High Court said that the personal choice to build a family is a fundamental right. So family banana इंसान की couples की fundamental right होती है, and so fixing an upper age limit for the same was a restrictions which needs a relook. तो ART Act पे question है and the petitioners reached this, the Kerala High Court commented like this. So this again becomes important for us because of this particular news. What are the provisions of ART Assisted Reproductive Technology Regulation Act 2021? Legal provisions दिए गए हैं. Definition of ART services that you need to look. Read this line. The ART Act 21 provides a system for implementation of the law on surrogacy by setting up of a National Assisted Reproductive Technology and Surrogacy Board. So this act has set up 2 boards, that is National Assisted Reproductive Technology and Surrogacy Board, 2 boards. The act aims to regulate and supervise the ART clinics and assisted reproductive technology banks, prevention of misuse and safe and ethical practice of ART services. So through this act, these provisions have been brought to safeguard the rights of the parents, the rights of the children, clinics, etc. Definition of ART services. The act defines ART. So this is important. The act defines ART to include all techniques that seek to obtain a pregnancy by handling the sperm or the oocyte, immature egg cell, outside the human body and transferring the gamete or the embryo into the reproductive system of a woman. These include gamete donation of sperm or egg, in vitro fertilization and gestational surrogacy. So there are 3 ways through which ART services can be availed: gamete donation, in vitro fertilization and gestational surrogacy. So क्या होता है, outside the gamete, like, you know, immature egg cell, that is oocyte, obtained from the woman, is combined with the sperm of the man and embryo is formed. This embryo is planted in the womb of the woman. That is how this services acts, functions. ART services will be provided through ART clinics which offer ART related treatments and procedures, and ART banks also which collect, screen and store gametes. So this is how ART services functions. Eligibility criteria donor का क्या है, जो देते हैं, जहाँ से oocyte and sperms are taken. It's not necessary that the oocyte and the sperm are taken from the would-be parents only, but the children born out of this process will be deemed as the biological children of the couple who commissioned such ART services, okay, even though they have not given the oocyte or the sperm, okay. So what will be the eligibility criteria of the donors for sperm and the oocyte, that is the egg? A bank may obtain semen from males between 21 to 51 years. तो ये जानने की ज़रूरत है कि मेल की एज इसमें प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है 21 to 55 years, वुमेन की जो एज है वो है प्रिस्क्राइब्ड है 23 to 35 years of age. So वुमेन जो oocyte दे रही है, she has to be between 23 to 35 years. The man has to be between 21 to 55 years. The woman may donate eggs only once in her life. Only once in her life, and not more than 7 eggs may be retrieved from her. Okay, so this is information. A bank must not supply gamete of single donor to more than 1 commissioning party, the couples or the single woman seeking services. Conditions for offering services. These are the conditions: written consent of the commissioning parties and the donor. Right of child born through ART. What will be the right? The children born through ART will be deemed biological child of the commissioning couple, as I said. सो शॉर्टकमिंग्स क्या हैं इस एक्ट के, ART एक्ट के, दैट ऑल्सो हैज़ टू बी सीन. Exclusion of unmarried and heterosexual couples. So unmarried and heterosexual couples have not been covered under this act. It reduces the reproductive choices. The act is also limited to those commissioning couples who are infertile, okay, those who have been unable to conceive after 1 year of unprotected coitus. Thus it is limited in its application and significantly reduces the reproductive choices of those excluded. Unregulated prices, the price of the services are not regulated. That is why ART services are quite costly also. So way forward क्या हो सकता है? Few of the way forward we have already seen in the article itself. So what could be other way forward? Mandatory counseling. All ART bodies should be bounded by direction of central and state governments. All the constitutional, medical, legal, ethical and regulatory concerns raised must be thoroughly reviewed before affecting millions. Okay. What kind of questions could come from this particular issue? I have given you a question. The question is long. Try to attempt this question. I feel this is important for 2024 mains. Okay, that could be asked. So try to attempt this question. I have given you a question and that can be easily attempted by the discussion we had from the newspaper article, and also some additional point I have provided through the handout. And this handout, as I'm telling you, please note down that these handouts are available on Tathastu channel's Telegram channel, Tathastu-ICS Telegram channel, and the link will be provided below the YouTube discussion of this video. Okay, you can go on that Telegram channel, you can download this handout and you can add this along while you are revising your newspaper discussion through this video. Okay, so you don't need to write, but please try to attend this question and see if you can write. What kind of prelims question can come from this particular issue? So look at a prelims question, and I have made the question based on assisted reproductive technology. Which of the following ethical concerns are associated with assisted reproductive technology? So if you read the statements, access and affordability, yes, we read, this is correct. Genetic manipulation and design of babies could happen because the gametes, the oocytes and sperms are fertilized outside the body, so some of the changes can be brought in there. And then commercialization and exploitation of women's bodies, it is happening. So all of the above is the correct answer. So this is how you can expect the kind of question which could be asked on assisted reproductive technology. With this, let's move to the third article, and this is about India's voters deserve a bond of probity. So this article is about everything which we have covered in detail in our previous discussion of electoral bond scheme, while it was in news, while it was struck down by the courts, by the judiciary. We had dealt in detail about electoral bond scheme, limitations, why it was struck, various provisions on which Supreme Court has questioned the provisions, right to information also, and then how Puttaswamy case and the judgment in this related to doctrine of proportionality also. Everything we had discussed in detail. This is nothing but almost similar kind of debate that has been put forth in this article. One paragraph that I wanted you to note down from this article, that is why I have mentioned here, is the meaning of a good law, the intent of a good law. And if you read the first paragraph, read this paragraph. There are a few basic tenets of good laws. What are the tenets of the good laws? This argument you can note down to write in your answers. And public policies, lack of ambiguity. The basic tenet for good law and public policy should be lack of ambiguity. Ambiguity नहीं होना चाहिए, मतलब क्या है समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. Enforceability होनी चाहिए उसमें, it could be enforced. Predictability, it should be predictable कि इसका आउटकम क्या है, अगर इस तरीके से enforce होगा, ये प्रोसेस फॉलो होगा तो उसका आउटकम क्या होगा. And accountability, fourth. These are the quality of the tenets of a good law. All laws and policies are framed with purpose of addressing a public issue with a view to improving situation from when the problem was identified. तो law का object क्या होता है, law का intent क्या होता है? To make the life of people better, that is to address the problems or the public issues. This is the intent of a good law, and therefore the outcome should be evaluated keeping in mind the objectives behind that law policy. So whenever a government brings up a policy or whenever a government brings up a law, it should see that if it is addressing some public issue and whether the process is followed properly and the outcomes is intended and is achieved as it was intended during the process of formulation of that law or the policy. So this one paragraph, which I find very much important to be written in essays in ethics paper 4, in paper 2 as well, you can use this argument, and you can, like meaning of the good law, or while you are examining the funding of electoral process, etc. So these kind of debates you can use. Okay, this is all about this article, nothing else. This is almost a repetition, so we are not going to waste much time on this. The next article, the fourth article, is about data marketplace, the next frontier. So because India is digitization, India is seeing fast digitization, lot of data is created. So there could be two types of data, personal data and non-personal data, NPD. So you have to understand the difference between personal data and non-personal data. What could be the possible use of personal data and non-personal data? This has been mentioned in this article. There is a very good fact that is mentioned in the first paragraph. Read about it. The role of digitalization in realizing India's vision of becoming $5 trillion economy cannot be overstated. So it says that it is possible. The second statement, as per a NASSCOM report, data and artificial intelligence can be. So please note down this fact, read this fact and memorize and put it in your mind, because I see high probability of any question coming from artificial intelligence, challenges, etc., and that how excess use of or overuse of artificial intelligence is going to impact economy and the job market. Okay, so this information could be handy for you while you're writing the advantages or the pros kind of argument for artificial intelligence. Okay, so it says that artificial intelligence can add approximately $450 to $500 billion to India's GDP by 2025. So this is positive information about artificial intelligence. Okay? So rapid digitization of government operations, however, is accompanied by increasing volumes of citizen data. So because India is seeing rapid digitization, so we are also generating a lot of data, and two types of data, as I mentioned, personal data and non-personal data. Now we need to look at the definition of personal data and non-personal data and how question could be framed out of this information. So first information, that is, I have tried to deconstruct. Reading this will seem quite monotonous, so I have put this information in deconstructed form based on the article itself. What is the role of digitization? Role of digitization of the government operations, however, is accompanied by increasing volume of citizen data that we saw. Such data is typically of two kinds that we already seen. So what is non-personal data and its uses? So non-personal data kya hai? Question are very much probable from this area. NPD constitutes the primary kind of citizen data obtained by the government, which possesses the potential of serving as public good. So the data which is non-personal data, it can serve as a public good which has been procured by the government. To create synergies and devise scalable solution, integration of NPD in the dispensation of public service generally being advocated for. Application of high-value advanced analytics and AI to NPD across key sectors of economy can help predict social and economically sound outcomes. So using NPD can bring a better predictability about social and economical outcomes, okay, while we analyze such data. So junctures where data-driven insights can better inform governance and public functions are meteorological and disaster forecast, infrastructure capacity, and citizens' use pattern, mobility and housing pattern, employment trends, to name a few. So what is non-personal data? Personal data is particular about the individual information about the individual personality, mental health, etc. But when we talk about non-personal data, these are related to individuals' behavior or the public in at large, public behavior related to their choices about meteorology, disasters, etc., infrastructure capacity, housing patterns, etc. So these are related to non-personal data. Okay. So the expert committee, next information, the expert committee chaired by Chris Gopalakrishnan in his report deal with this at length. So here the committee which you need to remember is Chris Gopalakrishnan, that has dealt about NPD. Okay, so this information is there about NPD. Next is issues with NPD. क्या है, क्या क्या issues हैं? There is a risk of de-anonymization of NPD. Then subsequently Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology released the National Data Governance Framework Policy, NPD framework, which was touted as the first building block of digital architecture being conceived to maximize data driven governance. So how the NPD is being safeguarded? It is with this policy which has been brought by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. And if you can remember, we have also read about Ministry of Information and Technology in detail, and we read what all other bodies which come under MeitY, etc. Okay, go through the previous discussion of Delhi newspaper analysis and understand about MeitY as well. And then the last thing that is I have given is how to deal with NPD. A critical evaluation of NPD framework to address the existing gaps will be beneficial. So the role of MET has been highlighted here. And then the last thing which I want you to note down is this: in India, the state of Telangana has designated an agricultural data exchange, while India Urban Data Exchange has been established by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs in collaboration with the Indian Institute of Science. So these are some of the points that you can mention, that how to deal with non-personal data and their possible misuses, etc. Conclusion में, as you students keep on asking, मैम conclusion लिखने में problem होती है, introduction लिखने में problem होती है, so I unfailing provide you some ways to write a conclusion about a particular issue. Given the budding interest in data exchange structures, it is crucial to formulate a blueprint for governing them in India. So when there is a lot of generation of data due to increasing digitization, there has to be a policy which can deal with its better use and safeguarding data of the citizens. Then such examination will be at pace with the global disclosure on the regulation of data exchanges and supplement the effort of MEITY, the expert committee and other bodies vis-a-vis governance of NPD in India. So this is how you can conclude such article. Now what kind of question you should predict from such articles? Understanding kind of question that could be asked is important. So as I said that it's like reading without practicing is like eating without digestion. पढ़ के क्या फ़ायदा जब आप प्रैक्टिस ही नहीं कर रहे हो? खाना खा के क्या फ़ायदा जब वो डाइजेस्ट ही ना हो रहा हो? खाना क्यों खाते हैं? पेट भरने के लिए थोड़ी ना खाते हैं. खाना हम इसलिए खाते हैं कि उसके जो न्यूट्रिएंट्स हैं फूड से वी कैन गेन एंड वी कैन एनरिच आवर बॉडी. तो इस तरीके से पढ़ाई होती है. अगर आप पढ़ाई सिर्फ करे जा रहे हो लेकिन प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर रहे हो तो इट्स लाइक प्रैक्टिस eating without digesting. So look at this question and find out the answer. Discuss the significance of distinguishing between personal data and non-personal data in the context of privacy right. So you have to understand the difference between personal data and non-personal data, data protection regulations and technological advancement. The next part of the question is analyze the ethical and legal considerations surrounding the collection, use and sharing of personal and non-personal data, and suggest policy measures to address potential challenges and ensure the ethical handling of data in the digital age. This question though looks tricky, but everything that we have seen through the article, what we discussed, 2 extra further points and additional notes which I have provided in this PPT, you can easily attempt this question and secure the marks well if this kind of question comes in the examination and you see high probability to be asked from this topic. Okay, so this was it about today's daily newspaper analysis, and then as I say, keep reading daily newspaper analysis and keep reading through this handout which I provide you daily from Telegram channel. It can be uploaded, which is being uploaded, which can be downloaded, and this is uploaded every day without fail now onwards. Okay, so with this I end today's daily newspaper analysis. I'll see you in next session. Till then, all the best and Tathastu.